And we are coming to you live from the Heartland. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. Thank you for being here with us today. And we are ready to rock and roll and give you some great information here today regarding. I changed the title at the very last minute because I thought it'd be funnier. You see, examining the ET hypothesis, but I've changed that to probing the ET hypothesis. We're going to probe the ET hypothesis today, ladies and gentlemen. And we want to give the Rocket top billing today because tomorrow we will have the guys from the Rocket on the channel. They're going to talk about the technology that's behind the Rocket. They're going to talk about how it's very healing on various areas of your bodies and talk about what it can do for you in the intimate area. And we're definitely fighting back against the cabal trying to crash men's fertility, trying to crash men's virility and make it bad for women by doing just that. So look for it tomorrow, 2 p.m. We're going to be talking to the creators of the Rocket. And tonight, what time is it? Tonight at, I don't know if they do this live or not, but tonight I'll be on with the late night in the Midlands folks. That'll be at 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. Central Time, I think. But we will definitely be on with them. Dustin from the Rocket will be here on Wednesday. Pierre Sabak scheduled to be with us on Friday from 2 p.m. on, and hoping to get Vinny Eastwood on Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Time, always for your Christian Whistleblower. Also home of the Unindoctrinator podcast. And here we are. Let's talk about probing. I love it. The ET hypothesis. Going to be great stuff, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you should always try to do things a little different. And usually I have my screen set up one way. And I've got them set up the other way today. So I'm trying to, make my mind be more plastic and elastic. And thank you, Barry, for mentioning this because I owe you all a great debt of gratitude. We just reached 7 million views on this channel. 7 million views on this channel, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard to imagine from where we started to where we are today that 7 million people have watched this YouTube channel. And it's very humbling. And here's to the next 7 million. I salute you for being here, seeking after truth. And let's get ready to rock and roll. Jameis says that's a hell of a lot. It really is. Let's probe the ET hypothesis. And this is a reaction and analysis of Mac Tonnies' book, The Crypto Terrestrials. And I didn't know Mac. I wish I would have. He lived not too far from where I am. And he died very, very young, 34 years old, I think, of cardiac arrest. To me, that sounds rather odd. To me, that sounds rather unusual. I'm not suggesting any conspiracy theories, but wow, that's pretty young to die. And he was a great author, and he wrote a great book. I just finished reading it. It was my required reading in the 150-degree sauna that I get in every day. And I read his book, and I wanted to comment on it, and I wanted to react to it, and I wanted to make you aware of his information. And I want to ask, where's the beef, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages? Do you know that the Roswell incident occurred in 1947? That's 73 years ago. 73 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. Aleister Crowley's lamb drawing, the one that everybody says, "Oh, that's a gray." Well, that painting, that drawing was done in 1918, 102 years ago, folks. 102 years ago. And I find it very, very queer, in honor of Mayor Pete dropping out of the race, according to my prediction, and endorsing endorsing Joe Biden, according to my prediction. I find it very queer that from then till now, all of that time, there's not one piece of hard evidence of extraterrestrials. In spite of all the data, all the time, all the devotees of the ET hypothesis have failed to make a definitive case. That means all of this work, all of these YouTubes, all of these TV shows, all of this discovery and supposed discovery, not one definitive hard piece of evidence that extraterrestrials exist. Not one. Now, Nick Redfern, in the foreword to Mac Tonnies' book, The Crypto Terrestrials, had this to say regarding the proponents of the ET hypothesis. Nick Redfern, a great researcher in his own right, says that they, meaning the ET theorists, have failed to make a definitive case. They failed. And the capitalization is Nick Redfern's. Deal with it or don't, but it's a fact. I like this Redfern fellow. I really do. I like the way he thinks. And they have failed to establish a definitive case. But why is it so emotional? And some of you right now are experiencing a very emotional reaction to me, even daring to suggest that the ET hypothesis might not be true. The ET hypothesis is that all of the UFOs we see are from other places. The abductions are from other galaxies, that they're from extraterrestrials. And the fact that I even question that brings up very, very strong emotions in you, because everybody knows that there's ETs. And I think we've got to start to question when those type of knee-jerk reactions happen. Ask ourselves, why do we have those knee-jerk reactions? Why do we react in such a fashion? Do you remember Mickey Gilley? Well, if there's no hard evidence of the ET hypothesis, if no hard evidence of the ET hypothesis has surfaced in over 100 years, despite lots of hard work, despite lots of diligent investigation, then maybe we should consider that great American prophet, Mickey Gilley, and his words that suggest that we might be looking in all the wrong places. Remember? Looking for love in all the wrong places. Searching their eyes, looking for traces that they'd been abducted. Okay, it didn't go quite that way, but you know what I'm talking about. Instead of looking up all the time, which we are, what if we looked around? What if we looked down? What if we looked beyond? Just a suggestion, ladies and gentlemen. If we've been looking for 100 years up and haven't found any proof, maybe it's time to listen to the great American prophet, philosopher Mickey Gilley, and look somewhere else. What if it's not ET phone home? What if ET is home? Tonnies, Redfern, many other people like Richard Sharp Shaver, which we'll talk about a little bit and talk about in more detail in a subsequent podcast. What if right alongside us, in great stealth, that means hiding for those of you that are Christians, that means hiding. What if alongside us in great stealth, there exists a race of ancient beings native to this planet? What if there's even more than one race of ancient beings native to this planet? And I find it so interesting that so many people are so sure that there's extraterrestrials, but to actually suggest that there might be another race that's living right here on this planet in secrecy sounds ludicrous. To suggest there might be multiple such species sounds even more ludicrous. Why won't we ask these questions? And I'm going to get to this later, probably in another podcast, but why is the mainstream media trying to keep us from asking these questions? Why does the mainstream media push the ET hypothesis so much? And I'm not talking about the mainstream news media that's come out lately with the USS Nimitz sighting the Tic Tacs, chasing them around the sky, with Los Angeles class nuclear submarines, as I revealed on Coast to Coast AM a few weeks ago, tracking these things under the water, going in excess of 500 miles per hour. Why is that all of a sudden headline news? Why is there a Space Force? Why are we talking about ETs all the time? Why is Hollywood? That's what I'm really talking about. Why is Hollywood pushing? Tracy says the government admitted the Tic Tacs are theirs. I missed that, but I won't question Tracy Dyer. Why is the media pushing this ET idea so hard? And did you know that originally it wasn't the ET idea that was pushed so hard? We'll get to that. Why? Very interesting to me. And why is there really Spirit 7 Love? Listen up. Why is there no difference anymore between the mainstream media and truthers? I might do a whole show about this, but I don't know if there's enough data to do a whole show about it. But I look at the mainstream media and I hear, OMG, coronavirus. I turn on truther channels and I see, OMG, coronavirus. I turn on mainstream media and I hear, OMG, wars, rumors of wars, financial collapse. I turn on truther channels and I hear, oh my, wars, rumors of wars, financial collapse. I turn on the mainstream media. I see extraterrestrial UFOs. I turn on truthers. I see extraterrestrial UFOs. There's no difference anymore between the mainstream media and the truther channels. I said this yesterday on the Power Hour show, right before Gerald Celente came on, and I stole it a little bit from what's that guy's show, Gilly Show, Willie Show, something, Tracy, that you showed me. And what happens, the mainstream media has been doing this for a long time. Now, the lamestream media, which is you truthers, you're doing it too. You look for all the bad news you can find. You look for all the scary news you can find. You look for all the gory news you can find. You look for all the upsetting news you can find. And just like your mainstream media heroes and just like your mainstream media prototypes, you lamestream truthers. Oh my God, Cindy, did you hear the thing about the thing? Oh, it's so bad. That's what you guys do. And that's what this guy don't do. Am I a contrarian? You bet your damn sweet bippy I'm a contrarian. Because you know what a contrarian is? A contrarian is a person that goes against the dominant paradigm. And when the dominant paradigm is stupid, that's the best time to go against it. Shame on you. Look at your content. Look at the content you're watching. And you'll probably be ashamed to admit it. You'll probably be ashamed to admit it. But what if right alongside us in great stealth exists a race of ancient beings native to this planet? Or I would say, what if there's more than one race? And what if, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages, what if they're protecting themselves by feeding the ET hypothesis? Because think about it. If you're a race that's native to this planet and you want to remain on the DL, you want to remain crypto, you want to remain hidden, you want to remain left by yourselves, The best thing for you to do is to perpetuate, and if it's already being perpetuated, to support and to promote this extraterrestrial hypothesis. Because if us dummies are looking out here all the time, we're looking on Uranus, we're looking on the Pleiades, we're looking on Andromeda, we're looking on, what am I forgetting, Draco. We're looking at all of these places. We're never going to look right here amongst ourselves for the great ancient race hidden here, hanging out, just wanting to be left alone. And frankly, probably afraid of us because they see the stupid shit that we do. And they don't need any of that stupid shit. They got all the stupid they need. It's like Jack Nicholson on As Good as It Gets. We don't need no more crazy. We're all stocked up here. They're all stocked up. They don't need our kind of crazy. It would make perfect sense for them to fuel and to perpetuate and even maybe to initiate the ET agenda. And what if they've been doing it not just since 47, but what if they've been doing it for as long as we've been here? You got to remember, we are Johnny come latelys and Sally come latelys to this planet. If you had the history of this planet in a book that was 1,000 pages long, you and me, us, would show up in a 1,000-page book on page 1,000 in the last sentence of the last paragraph. Think of that. Think of that. We are Johnny and Joni come latelys. We are not even an asterisk on the history of this planet. And it's possible that they've been here for a long, long time prior to us being here. And even the cultural papers that try to keep us enslaved in this continual matrix known as the Old Testament and the New Testament, even the Old Testament tells us that there was a race of upright hominid reptilians called the majestic serpents. And even this foundational cultural document of the fear and guilt, blood magic control matrix called the Old Testament and the New Testament, it tells us they were created 5 verses before us. Who knows how long that was in years? Who knows how long that was in time? And I know that some of you want to believe the earth is young. I know some of you don't want to believe anything that science shows or evidence shows, but you don't have to hide from truth when you understand truth. This place could be really, 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 really old. And we're really, 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 really new. And it's easy to fool us. And they may have been doing it for many, many, many years, ladies and gentlemen. This is just probing the ET hypothesis, seeing what else might be true, asking ourselves questions and questioning answers, folks. That's what we do. We ask questions around here and we question answers around here. Think about it. This is an interesting perspective, and it's in Max Tonnies' book. Think about the earth from a high vantage point. Let's say you're up in a huge balloon that took you all the way up to as high as you could go, and you look down on the earth. The effects of human civilization look very small from up there, from that perspective. Think if you're at night, like this picture. You're at night over one of the most densely populated sections of this place that we live. And you look at that computer generated CGI photograph right there, but that's okay. That's not the point. But Just look at all the empty space. Even if you're talking about, the Northeast where the most of the population is, look at all the empty space. Oh my God, overpopulation. There's more empty space than there is full space. A lot more. Look at all that empty space. Look at these oceans, man. Look at these oceans, woman. Wow. We haven't even researched 5% of these, and that's 70% of this place we live. We haven't even researched what's under 95% of this stuff. And look at the stuff that we supposedly have looked at. It's empty. What's under all of this? What's under all of that? What's beyond this? What's up here? What's down here? What's over here? What's over here? We had people, admirals, go and look and say, man, there's more than we knew out there. There's a lot that we haven't searched. There's a lot that we haven't looked for. There's a lot that we've never even looked at, ladies and gentlemen. Real 93, cool story. We're all stocked up here. Go sell crazy somewhere else. You really think there's a lack of resources? Then you're a special kind of silly. You really are. Anyway, there's a lot we haven't searched, folks. A lot we haven't searched. And we'll get back to more of our presentation at another time. But think about that. Ponder that. And while you're pondering that, I know a lot of you are still concerned about these viruses, this virus that has broken out. A lot of you are still concerned about your health, and you should be. But you shouldn't be worried because the virus is, I'm convinced, a hoax. But maybe the next one won't be. And one of the best ways to keep the way to keep yourself healthy is not to worry about what you're going to catch, but to worry about your own immune system. And your immune system is based upon your blood doing its job. And when you wear Mystech jewelry, your blood is not clumpy. Your blood is not sticky. Your blood is empty of pathogens. Your blood is moving fast and getting stuff done. So if you're really worried about getting sick, worry about getting healthy, because that's the key. And Mystech helps you. So go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Mystech logo. Right now, you can get 20% off your purchase at Mystech when ordering through jeffreydaugherty.com. Let's zoom into the chat room and see what people have to say there. And it looks like I always go with some trepidation when I do this. Brandon says he's ironically started saying, where's the beef lately? And Brandon is a 26-year-old man looking for love, hopefully, in not the wrong places, folks. The earth is about 6,000 years old. There was a flood about 4,400 years ago, and Jesus Christ walked the earth about 20 years ago. Oh, Iger, stop that. That's funny. Oh, my God. That is worse than Walt freaking Disney. Are you that stupid? Get a con out of my face. Holy crap. Really? Thank you for the comedic relief. I needed that. Oh, boy. That was so good. Viking Explorer's hypothesis is that some are alien, some are secret space, some are time travelers. And it's great to have hypotheses. It really is. Give me hard proof that some are alien. Give me hard proof that some are secret space. Give me hard proof that some are time travelers. You can't. That's all I'm saying. Give me some proof. But you might be right. I'm not saying that there's not extraterrestrials. I'm saying there's no proof of extraterrestrials. I'm not saying that there's not a secret space program, although I kind of am. And I'm certainly not saying that there's no time travelers. And folks, there's a great growing theory being championed by Robert Stanley and yours truly and other people that any race that is ET, if there is, or if there are ET races, anyone that is malevolent towards any other group is confined to its home planet. And if there are ETs, I would 100% be in congruence with that idea. So if there are things coming here that are doing malfeasance, abducting, probing, they're not extraterrestrials, because those type of beings would not be allowed to leave their home world. Brian says that we should, where's my cursor? This mouse. You're right, Brian. I would agree. Let's look down into the ground. Dead YouTube channel says bingo. You just say bingo. If ET lives here, how do we about giving him an eviction notice? I know you're just trying to make a joke, Brian, but that does kind of feed into, why they want us to be afraid of ETs. And my question would be, why would you want to give them an eviction notice? Maybe we could work with them. That's all I'm saying. There's many beings here, says Karen Steele. Tracy was apparently in stealth mode this morning at Walmart when an old guy ran into her with his scooter. Did you get video, Tracy? And would you share it? Brandon suggests there could be inner Earth civilizations. Absolutely. They could potentially be living in different pawns on this vast plane. Absolutely. That's, some thought of our non-heliocentric model friends. There could be lands way beyond what we know of. And there could be beings living in those places as well. Why don't we look under and stop looking up all the time? Interesting points. I love the way you guys think. Brandon says we all live in a yellow submarine. I've heard that somewhere before. Troy's channel says you're right. They are here now. They're here in front of you. They're another version of us. There's no separation from us to them. Thank you for sharing. Who controls the media? Good question. Why won't they show the North Pole in the ISS video? Good question, Richard Geen. Why do drug pushers push their drugs so hard? Because they got to make that money. I think, says Alexa, that they push the ET agenda because they need to keep the sheep corralled in the same miserable thought process. I think you might be right, Alexa. Let's see what else we got. It's a controlling narrative. Yes, it is. It's fear porn. Yes, it is. Because they don't want us to have anti-gravity cars. That's part of it. They want us to keep being hooked on the petrol dollar economy. Absolutely right. And funny, the anti-gravity cars kind of got me for a minute. Truthers are showing who they always were. Absolutely. There are no truthers. There's lamestream medias, and they look just like the mainstream media because really they want to get paid and they want to be famous. They don't really want to spread the truth. They want to get paid. They want to be famous. They want to stroke their ego. That's why they're so-called truthers. That's why you can't tell the difference. If your favorite YouTube channel is talking about the same stuff that the news media is talking about, then you've got some choices to make. That's because they are, Gary. Truthers remind me of Chicken Little. Absolutely. Many are lost in their quest for material. Well, then maybe if you know what the thumper rule is, if you don't have something interesting to say, don't say anything at all. It's kind of the thumper rule. You know what I'm talking about. Dilly, that's right, the Dilly Show. He's got some stuff to say. They lure people in, then they take off their veils. Ooh, yes, they do. Truthers are the new age Libertarian Party. Or are they just the new cage Libertarian Party? Make dirigibles great again. I'm doing a study on those things right now. And it's fascinating, ladies and gentlemen. It's fascinating. It really is. Let's see. They profit off fear. Absolutely, they do. They profit off of fear, 100%, folks. Let's see. Don't feed the heads of the Hydra. Absolutely. I love it. If you're not careful, everyone is susceptible to consuming what our itching ears want to hear. Absolutely. Look behind the ice wall, hidden from us. Look at the stuff viewed by Admiral Byrd. You don't have to be a heliocentric questioner to do that. Look right in front of you. I love that. Look right in front of you. And for some reason, Clint Richardson wants to look in Cleveland. Okay, we could look in Cleveland. Disneyland would be a great place to hang out. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but yeah. Somebody chastised me for laughing at the theatrics of the Pope sniffling the other day. Do I really care if the Pope has a cold? No, I don't. What I do care about, though, and this is very interesting, seems that the Pope had an assistant, a 34-year-old girl that was the Pope's public personal assistant, 34 years old, happened to get pregnant, happened to be found dead in her apartment. Now, I'm not saying A plus B equals C, but all I'm saying is that the Pope's personal assistant got pregnant and was found dead in her apartment. You might want to look into that. You might not. It's up to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's up to you. Wow. Yeah, that makes me crazy thinking about that kind of stuff. It really does. It really does. We probably could have been here a billion years. We could have been. We absolutely could have been. Sorry, we just ran into a complete stop right there. We had some dead air. That's not good. How do we take back what's ours? Absolutely. Why is Canada all black? Because there ain't much up there, man. There ain't much up there. That's why it's all black. Do you have proof to support your hypothesis, Jeff? I don't have a hypothesis. That's the beautiful thing about it. Somebody says, can you prove Jesus isn't real? No, and I don't have to. You have to prove he is real. I don't have to prove that there aren't extraterrestrials. You have to prove there are. I don't have to prove there's not a secret space program. You have to prove there is. I don't have to prove that they're not time travelers. You have to prove that there are. I don't have to, you can't ask somebody to prove a negative. You've got to have proof that proves that stuff is. I don't have to have proof that it is not. And you know better than that, Viking Explorer. You know better than that. Bigfoot territory. Yeah, Bigfoot territory. How about that? Let's see. What else? What else we got? We really don't know the truth about any subject or genre. Yes and no. Yes and no. I like it. Can we make ET pay his fair share of taxes? What is a fair share of taxes? And should anybody have to pay it? Now that's interesting right there. No, Admiral Byrd didn't say the planet was hollow. He kind of suggested that it might be. He suggested that it might be, possibly. So let's see what else we got here. If there is a waterway under the U.S., the entrance is off of Malibu. Okay, thanks for sharing. Cleveland Lake Erie is the largest underground base that don't belong to us. That's worth investigating. That's worth investigating. Russian Vids in the house says that the Roswell crash was on the 33 parallel. Phoenix Lights 33 parallel and looks like the Masonic Square, Masonic PSYOP. Interestingly put from Russian Vids. Nice to have you on the channel. We appreciated you coming on. Cynthia says laugh out loud. True. Not sure what, but hey, it was. Viking, just take a seat, man. Your dinner's based. I'm sorry. I didn't really mean to read that one out loud. Let's see what else we got going on here. PSYOP is a psychological operative, Kirsten. Let's see. I used to be one of those people trying to find the point, purpose, meaning of life until I realized that life has no purpose. We simply exist because absolutely nothingness cannot exist. Wow, that's a really, really depressing thing. And you couldn't be more wrong, in my opinion, dead YouTube channel. Why don't you just shoot yourself? If you really think that, why wouldn't you just eat a pistol? I mean, come on, why wouldn't you? I'm not suggesting you do, but what keeps you from doing that? You know why I'm alive? Because I found my great basic purpose. I wake up in the morning with a great basic purpose that drives me. I go to bed at night with a great basic purpose that drives me. I dream at night of my great basic purpose that drives me. And dead YouTube channel X1935, I feel very SORRY for YOU. If you really think that you have no purpose, because you do have a purpose. And if you would find out what your purpose was, I would not have to do your purpose and my purpose. So I wish you'd find your purpose. I'm getting tired of carrying your weight. You've got a purpose. And I hope that you do find it. And wow, that's enough to make a little tear come to the corner of my eye. I didn't shed it because that would be unprofessional, but a little tear did come to the corner of my eye. That's horrible. Horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Okay, let's see. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I love it. It's nice when you don't get triggered anymore and you just delete a bitch. I like it that way. I like it that way. No raise in the pressure. Just, okay. I hope you enjoyed saying that because you won't ever say anything like that again. Time is on our side. Time is on our side, ladies and gentlemen. Abso-damn-lutely. I think Cynthia says my purpose is to make her happy every day. And that really is true. That really is true. Things fall in fall. Tree leaves, the stock market, and the Twin Towers. That's kind of poetic from you, Russian Vids. Interesting. Thanks for sharing that. I like that. Maybe our thoughts are coming from the ETs that are in us. Danger, danger, danger. When you start thinking that there's something in you that's giving you your thoughts, it's not you. I'm just saying, bro. Why would you even think that? Why would you even think that? I don't get it. I do not get it. Sometimes, man, I'm glad you guys came here. I really am, because if you don't think you got a purpose, or if you think that what's in you, something other than you in you, is making you talk, this is the place you need to be. Because you need to know that you don't have original sin. You got the spark of divinity within. You need to know that you don't need salvation, and you don't have to go hunting for their Savior and bowing to their Savior and begging and pleading and pleasing their Savior. Because you're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. You've got the right to life, and life more abundant, and peace that passes all understanding. And that's just the way it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's just the way it is. We are the last generation of real humans. And we've got some unindoctrinating to do, folks, internally and for the rest of the world. Because never forget, once you get unindoctrinated, then you are on one of the unindoctrinators. And you got to help unindoctrinate as many people as you can, because we're in the world changing business. And that business, cousins, is a booming. We are the last generation of real humans, and that's okay. We'll get this done. But we have to get busy. Remember this. Never forget it. Remember this. Mark Twain said, it's easy to fool someone, and it is. But it's not easy to convince them that they've been fooled, and that's our job. It's not easy. That's why we got to get busy. That's why we got to be doing our due. And that's why you need me, and I need you. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. We appreciate you being here, seeking after truth. For Tracy Dyer and our other great moderators, and for the lovely Cynthia, I do salute you for being here, seeking after truth. And we'll talk to you again real soon. Remember, things aren't bad and getting worse. Things are good and they're getting better. And we're here to make damn sure they do.